people. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Welcome to Damaris Kimani TV. First things first, happy new year. I hope you had a good one in 2024 and you're looking forward to a great and amazing blessed 2025. So before I go further, I want to welcome you here. If it's your first time, thanks a lot for joining us. And if you have been here, thanks a lot for always supporting me. And just in case you're watching and you haven't subscribed, it doesn't cost you anything. You just click the subscribe button. Make sure you hit the notification bell so that you can be updated just in case another video is up. So on today's video, we're going to talk about something interesting. It's just a story actually, as you have seen in the title. And this is what I will start with. When I was growing up, it was always my desire that before I get married, I would actually love to live by my own. Every time I had friends when you're anajikalisha and maybe you're coming from events, we are, heading somewhere, and then you'll hear someone say, akina shanga leo nitaenda kupika nini, akina shanga leo nitaenda kukula nini, aki nimekuwa nikiishi kama bachelor, hiyo nyumba hata sijui the last time nilifanya shopping. You know those stories. I think you've had such kind of people in your circles. Sasa hiyo unaishi kwa mama yako. So ikakuwa like my desire that, and my prayer to God, that God, before I cross over to my to 26, in my 25, I want to taste this life of living alone, staying by your own, inviting friends over for lunch, inviting friends over for game night, having time with your family, just having your own space where you're doing things, no curfew, no limitations, hamsumbuani na siblings, It has always been my desire. And I know it's also a desire for someone maybe who is watching me and they're still at their mom's. So I remember when I started really praying for this. Of course, for you to stay alone, you need a decent job that can at least afford your bills. And I remember in 2023, I was really in a bad place. Like, honestly speaking, I was in a bad place mentally, especially towards the end of the year. And I was so desperate because I didn't have a job. And so I was like, God, for you to make a move, at least I also have to do something in action. And I started praying to God that, God, give me a job, something that I'm passionate about. Me, that has always been my desire. Nambianga to God, just don't give me any job at a secretarial or whatever. I'm so passionate about humanity. I'm so passionate about speaking to people, motivating people. So I told God, just put me somewhere there in line. And God heard my prayer. And towards the end of the year, after crying and hooping from one friend to another house to accommodate me, I finally got a job. And this job, my first salary was at least able to sustain me and to actually help me to go to the next step. And I remember when I was house hunting with Nduta, I was telling Nduta, me grow up bado, nilikuwa naishingi kusema, mimi nikihama, I won't start with a mattress the way people start. Me, I have to start big. I'll start with sofa set. I will start with a bed, I was like, ile siku ndakuja kujikalisha, nitaishi kama mjaluo. And trust me, that's exactly what I did. I remember I didn't start with a mattress. I started with sofas. I started with sofas. I paid first for the sofas. I paid for the bed, this right here. And then the other things I started buying bit by bit. And so I remember, because I used to go to eat supper at my friend's place in Nduta, because sisi tulikuwa tu majirani. Nduta was like, mi hautawahi kuja kula supper kwangu tena. Si nilikwambia mtu anaanzanga na mattress na gas, And I remember the first time I bought my gas, it was when I was hosting my mom and siblings. Sikuwa na gas, nikakuwa watu lazima niwapikie. So that's when I bought my gas way after. But yeah, here we are. We found a house, our bedroom in Kahawa West. and very beautiful house, as you can see in the video. This was me and my brother when he was coming to see how the house looks like, you know, how we're going to do the arrangement and stuff. And trust me, I was super excited, and I couldn't wait to just do life in that space of mine. So I remember after buying the big items, so I started small. I went with my friend Kare to Kamkunji. By the way, if you want things at a cheaper price, talk of sufuria, utensils, hizo vitu zote, please usiende kununua sijui wapi uko tao. Kamkunji is the place to be. Make sure you get into those shops uko ndani. You will get things at an affordable price. Si huku kwa barabara. So we went with Kare, because Kare used to work there before. We bought a lot of kitchen stuffs, as you can see, and I think my house was good to go. And as I kept on, I remember a friend of mine decided to bless me to housewarm my house with a 43-inch TV, TCL to be precise, just so you know. So my house was fully furnished. Let me say that my house was fully furnished, and I finally started life. So let me sip my lemon tea. By the way, this beautiful mug, I don't know if you can see it visually, I was gifted with Kerry Kagiri. Manze, I was super excited. I love these big mugs. Thanks a lot, Kerry. Yeah, so I finally started life, and I remember hosting my friends Josh and Duta, and you know, having this amazing time whereby I'm cooking for them. We are having the best of the moments, watching movies. I mean, I enjoyed every bit of it. And I remember I finally moved to that house last year, 2024, yeah, on May 4th. That's when I moved in. And I remember because my brother does interior design. By the way, check him out on TikTok and on Instagram. They know interiors. I'll make sure I put his handle here so that you can see the amazing work he does. So I remember telling him, you know, after getting ideas from Pinterest, I was like, hey, me, this is how I want my wall to look like. I want my bedroom to be black. By the way, I love black. I love black. Black is like my best color, just so you know. So I told him I want the walls to look like this. This is the idea that I have. And honestly, he executed. He did an amazing job. Went to the toilet. I told him I want this and this. I bought some frames from Danko Frames. By the way, check him out. He does an amazing job. He really has beautiful and amazing pieces. Like the one you see right there. That's my picture right there. That capice Evo, it's 150 shillings. So you just go with it, whichever pictures that you want to be put on frame, or they can give you different ideas when you go there, and you'll have the most beautiful and amazing pieces. Yeah, so I got some frames and deco frames. My brother came and did the whole art wall, and you know, it was amazing. My house was looking amazing, as you can see from the pictures and videos. So finally I settled, and you know, waking up, it was very convenient for me from according to the place where I was working then. And the environment was amazing. Talk of security, maji, nini, like everything was dope. And honestly speaking, let me tell you guys, I never imagined anywhere, not even in my wildest dream, that a day will come and my life will turn around. It was not anywhere in my prayer. It was not anywhere in my thoughts. It was not anywhere in my conversation. So May, June, July, August, September, October, exactly 6 months. On the 20th of October, I woke up very happy. I woke up super excited, looking forward for Sunday because it was on a Sunday. I remember in church we were having a Glow conference. We were having a Glow Sunday, whereby Glow, it's a ladies ministry in our church, City Lighters, God Lights on Women, and we were hosting a conference whereby we had different guests coming. And I remember this day we even had a theme. We were doing purple and white, and so I was super excited when I was going to church that morning. And yeah, finally I go to church. And before that, the apartment which was next to mine, that was attached to mine, as you can see in the picture, the city council had given a notice that people are supposed to vacate before a certain date, because they were saying the building might collapse, and when it will collapse on the left side, because after they surveyed the building, they saw there was a crack somewhere on the left side, and they felt that wasn't secure for the tenants. And so people started vacating from the building, but not everyone did, because ilikuwa katikati ya mwezi, people don't have house rent, and some of them were still house hunting and trying to get money so that they can finally vacate. That was before 20th October. So I remember when I was even asking around, are we safe? And the people were saying, your building was also checked by engineers, and the foundation of it's very strong. It won't be affected in any way, because the building will be collapsing on the other side. So it's like the building is on the left side. The building that I lived in, it's on the right side. So the building was collapsing on this side. So for us, we weren't going to be affected. That was the information that we were given. So this Sunday, I wake up, go to church, and it was during the praise and worship time that Nduta whispered in my ear that Josh is saying that you pick up your phone. He's trying to reach you out. So I pick my phone, Josh calls me. And he's like, hey, the building that's next to yours, it has collapsed finally. And I was like, okay. And then Josh hanged up. And then he calls again. He's like, can you find a way of how you can get here as quick as possible? So in my head, I'm like, wait a minute, Josh. You're calling me to get to Kahawa West as quick as possible just to come and see a building that has collapsed. So I was like, I'll just pick a matatu. And then Josh hanged up. So on the third call, Josh was like, hey, the building has collapsed. Your sitting room also has been affected. All of it has collapsed. People have managed to get inside and have stole some of your items, and including your TV and your 2 burner. I have saved it from someone's hand while they were trying to run away with it. But some other items, I couldn't be able to save them. I just saw them running because everything was everywhere. Before the police got on ground, you know, a lot of boys took advantage by getting into the building and stealing items. So this is what happened. When the building collapsed, my wall, my sitting room wall, and my neighbors, mwenye tulikuwa tumeangaliana, it's only our walls that collapsed. And people managed to get inside through the walls. As you can see in the picture, this is how the wall looked like. And they stole whatever they stole. Let me tell you guys, when Josh told me that, I remember running quickly downstairs, and I was in a total mess, total confusion. I remember I was trying to order Bolt, a motorbike. I have the app, my data is on, but I am not functioning. And I remember Nduta clicked that something wasn't right, and she followed me. And she came downstairs and she was like, is everything okay? I told her, no, everything is not okay. Josh has called me. The building next to ours has collapsed, and my walls too has collapsed, and I've been told that guys have managed to get inside and stole some items. And so I remember trying to tell Nduta, I'm trying to order a motorbike, but I'm not functioning. So Nduta picked my phone, ordered Bolt. Immediately the motorbike came. Tukakuja Kahawa West. So when we arrived, we found a lot of people, as you can see in the video. And I remember seeing Josh venye alikuwa amejaa vumbi. You will think anafanya kazi kware, like he had dust on him all over. And I remember Josh trying to tell me exactly what happened. And I'm like this, yani, yeah, I'm listening, but honestly I can't hear whatever he's saying. I remember even a policewoman coming, you know, asking if I was living there. And Josh was the one who was trying to explain to her, telling her, yes, I'm one of the people who have been affected. And I remember when the police told me to get inside the building to see and confirm if everything is okay, and I didn't have that strength. And I remember calling Josh somewhere hapo kando, and I told him, I'm sorry, when you're speaking, honestly, I was not hearing what you're saying. And it's not that I was ignoring you or ni madharau or anything. Can you please tell me pole pole? Unasema watu wote wenye tuko hiyo side ya hiyo building kwenye ilikuwa, ukuta zetu zimebomoka, ama ni mimi peke yangu? Ananiambia ni wewe na jirani yako. Hey, let me tell you, at that point, I think my whole body was in shock. I didn't even say anything. I didn't even talk. I was just standing hapo kando and seeing different departments coming, DCI, whoever, like a lot was happening. A lot was really happening. And I remember when I was coming actually to Kahawa West, when I was in the motorbike with Nduta, I think that was the time I made like the longest prayer ever, because I remember when I was in that motorbike and praying to God, and I told God, God, I've never been into that kind of a situation before, and I want to pray for two things. I want to pray for strength, and I want to ask you that you may give me peace that surpasses human understanding during this season. Let me tell you guys, you know, we are used to seeing houses collapsing just maybe from the news, from social media, and it never crosses your mind anywhere that you can one time become a victim of that. You know, you just see and you're like, oh my God, oh my God. But now when this happened to me, and it happened to actually affect me, and the notice that you are given before is that at any point we are not anywhere in danger. And then that happened. It was the worst day of my life ever. And I remember when I got there, I thought maybe I wouldn't even have strength, I would start crying. But honestly speaking, I was smiling all through. I remember even when our friends Patsy and CY came, the couples, walikuwa yani wanashtuka. By the everyone who was coming there alikuwa nashtuka, especially after kusikia nimekuwa affected. Walikuwa nashtuka, but mimi ndo nilikuwa na encourage, na waambia God has a reason. They are like, wait Dama, what do you mean? Unajua mimi ningekuwa wewe sasa ningekuwa nimeadmitiwa ICU. Unajua mimi ningekuwa wewe sasa ningekuwa kwa maji. Trust me, everyone who was coming, they were giving me different, you know, different scenarios of if it were them in that situation, what would have happened to them. And I remember during that time, everyone who had an idea that I lived or stayed in Kahawa West, I was overwhelmed with a lot of calls. Guys called me, including some of my ex-colleagues. You know, they were like, hey, naona kuna building imeanguka Kahawa West, I hope you're not affected. And shock to them, nikiwaambia actually, that's where I used to live. The building that had collapsed was just attached to mine. And the guys couldn't believe. Hey, I remember receiving text messages, and some of the people who came to learn after that, I was affected with that scenario. Some of them were even reaching out to Josh because walikuwa wanashindwa, guys, sasa how will we even start talking to this lady, you know? And it wasn't easy at all. It wasn't easy at all. This is a space that I've always desired. God has provided almost everything that makes a house complete. And then you're told that TV yako nimeioko kwa mkono ya mtu but imevunjika, it cannot function. Gas yako nimeona ikienda. I don't know, it was, hey, I was like, this is a place I've always desired. I remember even counting months. I was like, I've just been here for like 5 months, 6 months actually. Hata sijamaliza mwaka. And this has happened. It was very hard for me to comprehend, seriously. But I remember in the midst of all that, that strength that I prayed for is exactly what God provided me with. And I remember at some point it even started raining. And when my friends Patsy and CY were here with me, I remember CY calling me hapo kando, akaniambia, Dama, are you ready to lose everything? And that question struck me so hard. It reminded me the story of Job in the Bible. And without hesitating, I told her yes. Up to this point, I think I'm ready to lose everything that I worked hard for and everything that I had always desired. And I remember even calling my mom, and she was in total shock. I remember asking her if she can come and see what has happened, and she was like, no, I cannot have that strength. I cannot have that strength. She was very emotional. I remember calling my dad. You know, there's a time when my dad came out of prison. I hosted him at my place. He used to live with my brother at my place, as you can see in the video, and he was so happy. I remember him asking, hey, easy curtains will buy how much? Hey, ETV will buy how much? Hey, nyumba yako inakaa poa. Like, he had the most beautiful, peaceful time in that house. And when I called him to tell him that my house is no more, nobody was able to hold that news and believe what had happened. I honestly want to thank Nduta. I want to thank my brother. I want to thank Josh. I want to thank my mom and everyone who stood along with me. I don't know how I can ever pay you, because you guys stood with me both emotionally, physically, and financially. Despite mourning that loss, I felt a lot of peace. I felt I had a shoulder to always lean on, and it filled that gap. It made that season be so light. And I want to thank each and every one of you. Any one of you who prayed for me, whether you texted me or not, whether you called me or not. Every one of you who supported with a single coin, foodstuffs, and everything. Like, may just God bless you in this new year. May God remember you in your time of distress. May God remember that hand of kindness that you stretched when I was in need, and may He remember you in your time of distress and in your time of need. May He remember that one thing you did to me. And as you refresh me, I pray that God will always refresh you and fill your cup. So before we even go to the next phase, I think I will talk about what happened after in part 2. But this was just an introduction of what had happened, on how it all started to a point of where it reached. So see you on the next video, so that I can tell you more of what happened after or during that season that I was in, which was not easy at all. But thanks a lot for listening, and thanks a lot for watching.